All right, let's see if I can. Hi, I'm trying to see to get my video to work because it looks like it's being ridiculous. It's not showing my thing. Can you guys hear me at least? Wait, let me. Manage. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, at least you guys can hear me. This is, of course, I'm trying to do something, but Black History Month agenda. I'm going to try one more time to see if maybe I can get the video to be fixed. But if it doesn't work, I'll just show you guys via my voice. All right. Microphone. Manage. Allow microphone. Okay. It's being weird, so I guess we're just gonna do it via this. All right. Someone asked me if I monetized the chat. I guess I did. Looks like I did. Yeah, OBS. I have OBS for Magic the Gathering stuff. I don't even use it on like regular stuff. Maybe if I turn it on, you can maybe see my face. Let's see. I don't look that great, so let's see. We're just doing face cam. Oh, that did something. So it's just showing that one bit of my face, which is really weird, but it's okay. This is just for y'all. But this is so, wait, I should be able to make this bigger. Yes, I did it. Haha. Terrible quality. But yeah, all the news about Joss Whedon and Charisma Carpenter coming out really messed with me because as someone who's been a fan of Buffy for like almost 10 years, I feel like so many things were written on the wall to tell us that this was the environment that so many people were dealing with, so many creators, so many actors, so many writers were dealing with. And yet, like, now we had to have several people be traumatized and re-traumatized because of it. And it really, really bothers me. So for those who don't know, I think we have to go to the epicenter of this. This was Ray Fisher. And Ray Fisher made complaints about Joss Whedon and Warner Brothers concerning the reshoots and everything concerning Justice League, which when Zack Snyder had to leave the project because of the passing of his daughter, Joss Whedon was brought in to do the to finish the film. And at the time, people were promoting and excited about it because Joss Whedon had done the Avengers. So obviously it was a big deal to get him to do basically that different thing. And then, recently Fisher has come out and said that the environment there was toxic. The only people who have said anything about this from the Justice League team is Jason Momoa, who has shown support for Ray Fisher, and Gal Gadot made one comment alluding to the fact that she had an issue, but it was handled because, of course, it was handled for her because she's the star of the DCU right now. But Ray Fisher was pretty much doing this on his own and dealing with all of this stuff on his own. And what I think is so upsetting is that so many people were using Joss's nerd cred, the fact that he was a feminist, to stand up for him, and pointing to the fact that he was vague, that Fisher was vague in what his comments were as a deflection of what he was saying. But let's go back a bit, because I think in 2017, Joss Whedon's ex-wife came up and said that Joss Whedon had promoted a very toxic environment on his sets and was using it to do weird things with the female actresses and use it as clout for him with other women. That's what she allegedly said. I might be misremembering parts of it, but that was the general gist of it. So she said that back in 2017. Joss Whedon, and that's during the Me Too movement, because that's all in the same environment. So she says that he still gets to do Justice League. He still was being around for Batgirl, because that was something that he was still being pitched to do at that time. So even though there is that, but let's go back even further with Charisma Carpenter. Every Buffy fan knows, if you've been in the fandom, I've only been a Buffy fan for a decade because I didn't grow up with it. We all know that Charisma Carpenter got effed over by Joss Whedon because she got pregnant, and it messed with his vision. We knew that shit was happening forever. So, first of all, how can you be considered a feminist in any capacity, if you punish a woman for her bodily autonomy, for having a child, and then, according to Charisma Carpenter, he was like, so you're going to keep it? So first of all, fuck you for that, for saying that to her. That's awful. There was that. There was, as someone just brought up, James Marsden, who plays Spike, James Masters, talking about how, like, he was aggressive towards him. There is a lot of toxicity on that set. And we've known that for a long time. We've seen that for a long time. And now Amber Benson has come out, Sarah Michelle Gellar, my good sis, Michelle Trachtenberg, Georgiana Sparks out here having to talk about this. There is clear element that the women that were attached to this franchise had to deal with a lot of things. And with Sarah Michelle Gellar especially, what I think is very telling is that she was never cliquey with Joss Whedon and his group. And Joss Whedon would make these little comments about how neither she or David Boreanaz would come to his little, like, Shakespeare talkies, whatever the fuck. I don't know why she would want to. She got to work 6 jobs, so why would she want to come to your after party? This is her job. So they were never cliquey. And there would always be things that were clearly Joss Whedon's own agendas coming in the middle of the relationship between the cast. Like that whole thing about how Sarah Michelle Gellar knew that Buffy was being canceled after season 7 because she didn't want to come back. But the rest of the cast didn't know that. She told Joss, excuse me, she told Joss that she didn't want to be a part of it for season 7. And I think all of us who saw season 7 was like, she was right. He didn't tell everybody. And so he didn't tell everyone. So they found out when it was publicized in, I think, either EU or People or one of those magazines. So he helped perpetuate an idea that she was, for lack of a better term, uppity. And it just frustrates the fuck out of me. It frustrates me because more and more we see actors who left shows unceremoniously, who have had to deal with weird shit, that all of them have been targets of, internalized biases, of issues, all of that stuff. Like, all of that stuff has been the part of the problem. And with Ray Fisher, going back to him, what makes it so hard is that him as a Black man playing this character and being of the cast, the newest actor there, he has the least amount of clout to really come forward and speak up about this issue. He has the most to lose. And in that regard, I would have supported him anyway, because we should believe people over institutions. And I consider Joss Whedon to be an institution. He had the most to lose from coming forward and talking about this issue, period. And it has been proven time and time and again that he has been seen as like being too vague about stuff. Okay. There are legal issues in the matter. There are all these things coming together. That's part of why he's being vague. Because it's still a legal thing, but he's been asking for accountability. And we know that Joss Whedon, because other people have come out, people who work on the sets, one of the people who worked on Justice League talked to Kevin Smith about it, and he brought it up. So we know that this is not just him saying this. We know it's not just him making it up. And it takes other people, especially white people, to have to co-sign it for people to believe it. And I give Charisma Carpenter this, and then she can come to my cookout, because she said that the reason why she came forward was specifically to back Ray Fisher, specifically to back him, because she saw how he was getting treated and how he was getting gaslit, and that she felt responsible for helping to fix that. And while I am proud of that, and that is actual allyship, it is deeply frustrating that a woman who's already been traumatized and harassed and forced to suck it all up and pretend everything is fine, because she was back with that 20th anniversary stuff. He still don't apologize. Joss Whedon still hasn't apologized, doesn't even really get what he did wrong. But she has to be the one to say, my bad. She has to be the one to do that, because what happens is actors, especially vulnerable ones, have to be the ones to say, let me just push it back down. Let me just not deal with it, because I need to work. Because she's a mother, and at the time she was a single mother, so she has to work. These people have to work. So they have to suck it up. They have to deal with all this bullshit, the racism, the sexism, the internalized everything on these sets. So rather than fans standing with this person, standing with Ray Fisher on just the basis of he's a vulnerable black man in a franchise that we know ain't that diverse. No, we had to have all these women come forward and say, yes, Joss Whedon was toxic. Yes, Joss Whedon was bad to us on set. You can't even believe him on his own. So you have to hear it from Charisma. You have to hear it from Sarah. You have to hear it from Michelle, who was a teenager when she started Buffy. And so even now, we have to deal with women being re-traumatized. And what really upsets me is, and I go back to the whole thing with the pregnancy, is like, that should be enough, shouldn't it? Should it not be enough that a man who claims to be a feminist, who was working with grown-ass people who were in their late 20s and 30s when he started working with them as teenagers, that they have lives outside of Buffy? And if you're dealing with female cast members who have autonomy, who have partners, who are in heteronormative relationships, that they can have babies? Sitcoms from the age of time have been like fighting ways to work around a baby bump. Like, Kerry Washington was pregnant twice during Scandal, and you ain't ever even had to discuss it. We were just like, we know you're pregnant, Kerry, but you working. We're happy to see you. Never. Winona Earp, when Melanie got pregnant, they did a whole thing about that, because that is how you actually lead forward. That is how you go forward with creating an environment. And instead of holding him accountable from then, we are now, almost 20 years later, having to drag all this stuff up. We know how he was mean to Emma Benson about her weight, which is bullshit, because like, she's a normal sized woman, as far as you can call normal. Like, we have seen all the things that he's done. Honestly, from Dollhouse, I knew there was something not clicking, but that's because I feel like, that's like, someone brought up Xena. the actual feminist showed, in my opinion. But like Lucy Lawless was pregnant. They worked around that shit. So it's unfathomable. And the other issue too is that going into specifically Black talent, Nicole Bahari, okay, every time she comes out, and we find out all the stuff about what happened with her in Sleepy Hollow, which I know I've done a video about before. It didn't surprise me. It vexed me. It irritated me, but it didn't surprise me. Because how many Black actors have we seen suddenly vanish from the shows when they were supposed to be second, third billing? You know, it's like, I think of, even though I like the show, One Under Earth, when Dolls left the show in the third season. And people were like, well, he wanted to do it because he wanted to do a movie career. Listen. Black actors are practical. You know what I mean? We're practical because we have to be. Not that I'm an actor, but, you know, I'm practical as a thing of being a thing. You're not going to be a second build Black actor and leave a whole ass check to maybe do Hollywood movies. Okay? Like, you're not just like, take a risk. And what he's like, he's Black, Canadian, Jamaican. Jamaicans aren't allowed to leave a job, okay? And they don't have no other job lined up. That's illegal. It's literally illegal. We're not allowed to do that. I did it once, but don't tell my mommy. Like, it makes no sense. Hail from Lost Girl, when he left to go do the same thing, to go do movies. What movie? What movies? Where they casting them? Nowhere. How do you directly respond to people? I think you can like at them. Sorry, I'm trying to pay more attention to what I'm saying in the chat. But I think you just have to at the person and it'll come up when it does a thing. Anyway, sorry. Most of the time I'm on my lunch break. I'm doing a lot of things with this live right now. You know, they're not out here trying to like maybe do something. You know what I mean? It's so frustrating. And you know, with Heroes, what happened with Heroes? I did a thing about that on my Patreon. If you haven't followed me on Patreon, I have good shit up there. And on Nebula, I have a WandaVision video about to come up later today. So, but with Heroes, how we had that like the woman was racist. They picked the white woman over him. Like, like disappointing, upsetting, yes. Shocking, no. No. Mehcad Brooks, I just brought up Mehcad Brooks from Supergirl. You think he left that set just because? Just because? No. Listen, when Candace Patton come out with that book, that tell-all, they'll be right there, first in line, because I know she has stories to tell. I know she has dealt with so much stuff. And for what? You know, all of these Black talent that have been wasted, been gaslit, had fandoms that didn't give a shit about them. And when we tried to talk about it, we were all being called like that we're reaching, that we're trying to do this and trying to do that. And then the evidence just comes right there. The evidence just shows right up. And it's like, yeah, we know. We've been new. And the darker you are, the less likely you are to even have a career after the thing. Okay? It is. I am so deeply aggravated that Joss Whedon has not only been, and also let's talk about Joss Whedon and what he has done post Buffy. Because Firefly, while I do love the show, I'm not gonna slam Firefly. I'm not gonna do that on the bomb. But that should have problems. First of all, how you have a whole pan-Chinese culture, but you got not one Chinese person or Asian person anywhere near your cast. Okay, that's one. Okay. 2, you slut-shaming your sex worker character the entire time, but the person who is shaming her the most is her love interest. Sir. What? Dollhouse. Listen, I don't even get into that because I don't want to say nothing about my good sister Elijah Dushku because she does what she got to do. But we know she wasn't meant to be the lead in that series because they had that other Asian actress on there. She was fire. But everything about Dollhouse was just foul. You know, just everything about Dollhouse was foul. Also, it was so poorly paced. Then we get the Avengers and Ultron. And the thing about those movies, this is someone who has seen the Avengers movies like, what, 5 times? They genuinely he would love to like pepper in little sexist shit into what the characters would say or do, some weird OOC things, you know, like Thor saying that he and Loki are adopted, that is some Joss Whedon shit. That's not even in canon. But, you know, the Mew and Quim line, like having Tony Stark talk about he want to bring back Prima Nocta. I'm just like, so because you're doing these like weird deep cut sexisms, y'all think that we don't have no Google? Like, I sit up here like, since when is Tony Stark a rapist? Joss Whedon, since when is that what you think this character is like? And every time he has the women talk, they all sound the same. Everyone sounds the same in his movies because that's his shtick. And it worked with Buffy because the actors really embodied those characters. I tell you this, they brought those roles to life. Okay? And then with the MCU, when he's dealing with these actors playing these characters that are not his own, you have all these cross-polluting things. And to me, it's not even a thing about Loki being the villain saying that shit. It's just that Loki is not really a sexist. He's just a dickhead. You know, he's a chaotic asshole. Why he would have to go to Mew and Quim is like, and the thing about it too, to use that vernacular, you know he's only doing it so that the people who know it can be like, oh shit, like, you know, there's no depth to it. It's like, it's frat boy humor, but taken to a nerd level to try to make it feel elevated, you know? And it's so transparent. And as someone, I remember one of the early videos I did to talk about racism in Buffy. And I remember even that people talking about like, well, you know, there's this reason, there's that reason why there's this issue in here and that and this and this. There's always a reason why people deserve less. And I don't know why we can't acknowledge that creators have a responsibility to treat their actors with respect. Torture a character if you want, but make sure that actor is being seen in the best light as possible. Like, the things that he has created are special to everybody. I love Buffy. I have my Buffy and Angel box sets right there. I'm not going to stream him no more, but I have them. Buffy will always be important to me. And especially knowing how those fucking women suffered, you best believe I'm going to celebrate them. But we need to acknowledge that the platform that he was given should have been lowered from day one. He has proven enough of the time that he has not grown as a creator. He has not evolved as a creator. And even if those mistakes were in the past, even if you could say that that was him 20 years ago, that was him then, he has done shit now. He has done shit now to prove that he has not grown, that he has not evolved. Decades of evidence, decades of whitewashing. He told Elizabeth Olsen to not look ugly when she does her stunts. First of all, and Olsen can't be ugly. That's on that. And Olsen don't know ugly. And Olsen can't even contemplate ugly. That's one. Two, ugly is like such a weird thing to even talk about a fighting scene. But how do you get an actress? I'm watching this girl on WandaVision right now, this woman on WandaVision right now. And she is killing it in every single way. And he was like, don't perform, don't act. You got to be ethereal with that whole waifu bullshit that he did with River Tam and Firefly. This is a grown woman performing, doing her craft that she's been doing since she was a child. Okay? Do you know who that's an Olsen. Don't come here. Sorry. You did not need to know I was an Olsen Twins fan, but I am. I fucking Mary-Kate Ashley, two of a kind, Mary-Kate Ashley Adventures in it. Okay, so it's, you know, and you'll see her talk about it, and she's doing it kind of like a ha 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 ha, ha way, but you know, it's frustrating. I saw someone said, yeah, she is using the Roma slurs, which I am like, I do not approve of. That's a bad thing. Unfortunately, I think a lot of Americans do not technically realize that that is a slur. But it is a slur, and we should call her out for that so that she can realize that that is wrong. But yeah, it's exhausting to see women having to suffer all of the repercussions of this, especially when he was responsible for giving so many women work, so many women a platform, and that they feel tied to him because of that. You know, that for a lot of ways, it's hard to even come after him because people will say, well, he built you. They give him more credit than they give them as performers. And it just hurts my heart. As a fan of television, as a fan of genre, as a fan of what Buffy and Xena existed and created, you know, with all the critiques I have of it, with all the toxicity, sorry, you know I can enunciate, that it has around it. Buffy really created the place for pop culture criticism in that way to exist. I love Buffy Summers. You know, it really upsets me. I'm looking at the chat now to see anything that I might have missed. Yeah, there's one actress I'm not going to mention on here because I know that if I do, it's going to be a whole thing. But, you know, yep, I know. I'm seeing it. Yeah, I remember they were chanting that slur, and I was just kind of like, it's so exhausting. People are so bad at understanding that, and I think it's because, and I think about this about doing a thing about this, but like with the Romani people, in America, I don't think that we necessarily have the cultural context of them besides that terrible TLC show. So a lot of people just don't click with it. And also, I think it's also been so normalized in the culture to say as a term of an aesthetic, which is not an excuse. I'm not excusing it. Just putting the context in. Yeah, I'm not like all I will say about that particular person is that actually, you know what? No, it's not worth it. But you know, going back to what we're talking about, I think that we are still dealing with how to properly deal with abusive behavior in the culture. And it is difficult because there is nuance in certain things. There is a lot of nuance, but sometimes that desire for nuance is used as an excuse and a vehicle to allow nothing to matter. And just because there can be nuance to things does not mean that there isn't a right or a wrong, that there isn't a hierarchy of harm. And I think when it comes to Joss Whedon, the hierarchy of harm has been hit so many times. And we have seen fandom not come together, not help out, not do anything productive with the space that they have occupied. And I just feel like when I think about someone brought up the chat, John Boyega, Oscar Isaacs, so many people, I know that they are creating space for the future. But I also think that it's unfair to expect a Black or brown actor or creator in 2021 to still be breaking boundaries, to still have to open doors for basic access. It is exhausting. And I can't imagine how exhausting it must be. I think of Candice Patton, my queen, you know I love her, who comes on with her slayed edges, beautiful skin, just ethereal, and then has to deal with bullshit from a fandom that don't respect her at all. But and also be one of the few Black women as a romantic lead on television. How exhausting to know that you're giving representation to people who deserve it, but have that be something that torments your daily life through social media. It's exhausting. I can't imagine dealing with that. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that. I deal with my own issues with the algorithm, but like that is perpetually exhausting. So, in conclusion to this rant, F. Joss Whedon, he has been doing this for a while. And what I think is important is, and I say this about every incident, look at the facts of things. Do the research into things. Like, and I don't mean that in like, do your own research. I mean that as in like, actually interrogate the things that look suspect. Investigate it. Interrogate your own biases. And really ask yourself, if you're framing your opinion based on the facts and what seems truthful, or if you are, just letting your biases leak through. Anyway, that was the thing that I had to say. But I'm on my lunch break, but I have 20 minutes. So if anyone has any questions or anything they ever wanted me to talk about on the chat, I'm free now. And I have the spoons now that I've exhaled. So yeah, if anything is up, just at me and I can answer it. Let me see if I missed anything. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Black Lightning is ending with the latest season, which is a bummer. And they're doing the spinoff based on Khalil. Okay. WandaVision theories. I know some people are waiting, so I don't want to get too into it. But haven't seen the previous episode. I think more of that is going to start happening. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the Nevers? Is that the new Joss Whedon show? I have not seen that. I will probably not be watching it. I wouldn't be thinking about anything that Joss Whedon is putting out right now. Any thoughts on Netflix Winx? Girl. Let me tell you, I can't even understand why you would make a live action Winx Club and say no glitter, no glam, no gowns. Like, listen, I already think that Witch is better anyway, but can't even deal with that. It looks just trash. And they whitewashed Musa and Flora. Can't deal with that. Infinity Train, actually, I think it's gonna be canceled. I think it's just too dark for everything. So I don't think they're gonna have it. Every actor, actress, POC, and work with Snyder always have it. With Zack Snyder, see, I don't hate Zack Snyder. I like quite a few of his movies. I think I have a video on here defending Sucker Punch, or I have defended it in the past, and I have like the art book to Sucker Punch. It was like one of the first Blu-rays I ever owned. I actually like a lot of his work. His work is just not consistent. 300 especially has some very homophobic and racist and ableist undertones, but that is root in the comic as well, because it is Frank Miller. And I think, if I'm going to be frank about it, the community that Zack Snyder's fan base has cultivated has been toxic. The same way most things that our fandom base are toxic. And I think that all of the stuff about the Snyder Cut just burned people out. Because it was exhausting to hear about all the time, to be quite honest. And I think for a lot of people, especially people who already took issue with Snyder's vision to begin with, like, I feel if you don't like BVS, then like a Snyder version of Justice League is like not something that you're exactly looking for. So I think it's just really like, I think he's a good boss, which is excellent. I'm glad that the people that work with him enjoy working with him. That's important. And that matters more to me in a lot of ways than like what I think of his movies. That he's a good employer. But I just don't think his movies are consistently good. I think his movies sometimes fall apart at the end. I think that his ideas don't often connect with the products he works with. And like I said before, like I think him as a Ayn Randian, you know, I wouldn't want him touching Superman. Yara Flor, Wonder Woman. Yara Flor is Wonder Woman. She's beautiful. I love her. Sorry, I'm like trying to get through all of this. Let's see. Favorite She-Ra characters: Catra, Perfuma, Glimmer, Mira, and then Catra again. Have I seen Motherlode Fort Salem? I have not, but I do own the Children of Blood and Bone books. I just have not gone through it a lot because I have a book that's kind of similar, talking about like Black bloodlines. I didn't want to read it before I finished my manuscript. So yeah, that's why. This is something a friend of mine gave me from India. I have Indian heritage, but not enough that I would claim it. So when my friend went to India, they picked this up for me. I don't remember what it's called, but I love it. Yeah, it makes. Does it give me a Karen vibe? Does it make me look elegant? What were your views on race in the Buffyverse? Just that it was bad. I mean, like, Buffy is not a very diverse show. Oh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled? What? Hold up. Breaking news. What? Oh my God. What just happened? Brooklyn Nine-Nine is going to end with their season 8. What? Okay, we reporting to you live from the Hollywood Reporter. Okay. Let's see. The final season will kill I swear I can speak. The beloved cop comedy starring cop comedy. Sorry, Amy Sandberg and Andrew Barr will wrap up with its previously announced 8th season. The final season will consist of 10 episodes, its lowest order ever. Huh. I mean, honestly, yeah. That sounds right. Disappointing because I did love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I think we don't need any more propaganda. We don't. We don't need that. Yeah. Pedro Pascal as Joel in The Last of Us. Love it for him. Love that transphobe. At least we have one less transphobe out of what's going on in The Mandalorian. So that's good news to me. Am I going to watch Titans season 3? I can't quit Titans, y'all. Titans is a bad show, but I can't quit it. I can't quit it. I love it too much. But it's terrible. Would not recommend. I don't watch Doom Patrol because I'm basic. But I do want to get into it eventually. Would you claim being? I would not claim being Desi because it is not something that I was raised in. It's something that actually my family didn't really know about. My dad would talk about us having Indian heritage, and I'd be like, okay, sure. Like, Black Americans know what I'm talking about. Like, everyone's like, you got, Indian in your family. And I was just like, okay. And then he went to visit family that we have in England because his sister passed away, my aunt passed away. And he took these pictures back home of us of like, our cousins, stuff like that. And I looked at the pictures and I was like, Dad, when you said Indian, you didn't mean Native American, did you? Because these are Desi people. He was like, oh, yeah. So it's like, I have no cultural context for that. I think also it's just different in the Caribbean in certain ways because there's such a like hodgepodge and like, anyway, it's in my blood. It's part of my paganism, but I would not call myself Desi because it would feel kind of appropriative because I don't live in that context. And I definitely don't present as anything other than Black. And I'm fine with that. I love being Black. What do you think about the Buffy reboot? Not interested, really. I think that there are plenty of other vampire series that we could do that are not Buffy. Buffy is pretty much as perfect as you can get for a show of that period. Just make a new one. Bridgerton video should be coming out by Monday, the latest. Yeah, I haven't watched any post Madoka Magical Girl anime, but I really, really want to. Kipo, I want to do a video about it too, but I just don't know what I would say besides I love everything about it. Demon Slayer is perfect. I have, if I can do this without hurting myself. This is my queen right here, Shinobu. She is killing it. Love her. I have a Nesco face mask. So I love that show. It's really good. Oh, Pedro Pascal is not a transphobe. No, it's a Gina, whatever her name is, the one who can't act. Princess Tutu is fire. Y'all should watch that. Oh, this is actually one thing. Sorry. The Marceline from Adventure Time. She's biracial. Does it matter to you that she doesn't have any obvious Black phenotype? It actually does a little bit. Because I didn't know that she was mixed Black until like you see her mother, and then someone told me, and I know that the actress is biracial. I think that I would, if I could have any correction with that, it would probably be allowed. It probably would have been having her have more Black phenotype, at least have some curly hair. Oh, my dad's not Jamaican. My dad's St. Lucian, but a lot of them do have big Asian populations anyway. Any My Hero Academia ships you love? I'm required by my girlfriend to like Kiribaku. So that's probably the only thing I am. Oh, I do like Shoto and Deku though. But I just love them. As long as they're just happy, that's all I care about. Haven't watched Promise Neverland. Don't care about the Gotham Police Department because they can't even do their job. Sucks to be them. I should watch more Young Justice. I should watch more Young Justice. Let's see. Wow, there's so many things. Are you still watching Hashihime? Reluctantly. Oh my God, Malcolm and Marie. Can't even think about that. I am planning on doing a bunch of Magical Girl content in the coming months. I do have a video about Sailor Moon, who I guess I love. I guess I like Sailor Moon. I'm doing a video about that and then doing it as an intro and to be talking about the Magical Girl genre. So sorry, there's a lot of things. If I'm missing stuff, I apologize. I'm just going through this as quickly as I can. I am playing Magic the Gathering. I'm actually building a deck of, was it Gruul elves? I'm not that cool. I don't know the names of it. I haven't watched Attack on Titan. I have watched the first season of Attack on Titan, but I have some weird feelings about it because people have told me that it's kind of fascisty. So I don't know. I have mixed things about it. So I'm a little concerned, but I've heard good things. Favorite Magical Girl anime besides Sailor Moon would be Utena and Princess Tutu. I have watched all of New Charmed. I do not think it is that good. I think it's still very colorist. And so it's very frustrating. Someone is asking me, how is Juno transphobic? A lot of the stuff that she has liked and shared has been very much in line with that. But if anyone else wants to add it there, yeah, she's like shared. Bye, for sleeping. Yeah, they have had. She has liked and said things that align with transphobia. They are Googleable. I don't say that to be exclusionary, just because I'm going fastly through it. And this, you've blown up recently. What's the transition been like? Exhausting. I am often completely worried about letting people down, about disappointing people, about having such a big audience and hurting them, of the responsibility it means of being a Black creator that is like this. It's very, very scary, but I try to do my best, and that's why I'll try to be nuanced. I'm not nuanced because I think that there isn't a right or a wrong. I'm nuanced because I know that everyone's journey to find their right is different. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've done dumb shit. I've been on YouTube since I was 15 years old. I don't think I'm better than anybody. And I think that's kind of the thing when you're a feminist, is that people assume that you have cracked the code and you've got it. And it's like, I don't got shit. I just think about what could hurt people's feelings. I just want people to exist and be fine. I have empathy for everybody. I just also know that people don't have empathy for me. And once you hit that code, you can be nuanced as much as you want, but you also know there's only so much you can do. Macy is bae though on Charm. She is. The women are fantastic. They're all gorgeous. They are lovely. But that show is colorist, and they need more melanin on that show, for real, for real. Like, I still don't really like how they sort of pretended it was going to be an Afro-Latina show that it wasn't. So, yeah. All right. I have 5 minutes before I have to head out. Thank you guys for listening. The Harley Quinn show. Oh God. I have been rewatching it. I am enjoying it more. I'm enjoying the second season a lot more. The first season to me is still not that funny. But also I just did not care about Harley Joker breaking up shenanigans because I'm like, they've been broke up, guys. We've been broke up. Should have. I don't know how to monetize the chat. I don't know how to do that. I thought I did it, but I guess not because I have monetization on. But it's okay. Keep your money. Buy something nice for yourselves. Donate to a local charity. I'm not that important. A lot of you already support me on your own. What does your visor say? No, let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see it showing up as a way to monetize the chat. Doesn't matter. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah. There was something good at like. So the thing about, yeah, I think the first season of Harley Quinn, the characterizations were just really weird. I still cut it, and honestly, even in season 2, I'm like, Poison Ivy is kind of a lame sometimes. Wait, no, that's an ableist term. Poison Ivy is kind of a drip sometimes, but it's well performed. I think that King Shark is my favorite, but I'm a King Shark stan, so that's my baby. Whenever King Shark or Grog is in anything, I'm like, live. Like Dr. Psycho is terrible, but he has good lines. Let's not be like false equivalency, please. Dr. Psycho, Clayface be doing the most sometimes, but he is a drama kid like that. Harley, I go back and forth with. I get what they're doing with her, but also I realize that the only version of Harley Quinn I really like is probably the Margot Robbie one. There are allegations of transphobia for a lot of people, sadly. The show is okay, but yeah, the show is okay. I will say this, I hate with the fire of 1,000 suns, Jim Gordon. What did they do to him? I'm like only like a couple episodes in, and I just have like, why is he like this? Why did they make Jim Gordon like this? It's very weird for me. Can't stand him. I do not watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm a bad queer. What makes Margot better than Kaylee? I would say I wouldn't have said that she was better until Birds of Prey, which I know is a controversial movie for some people, but I liked it, and I think that Birds of Prey did a good job of balancing the fact that Harley Quinn is both for lack of a better word, a psychopath, but also that she has attachment to women, that she is fun, that she is smart, that she is, that she has a personality that's just kind of like, I smash and crazy, which I think that the show leans into way more. So it's more just the writing choices. I did like Catwoman. I did love that she was like, girl, I'm always stealing jewels. Yes, you are, queen. Steal them jewels, even though your man is rich. But yeah, Jim Gordon is fucking terrible. Like when you see him in Barbara's dorm room, I was like, sir, get out. Let your child get her education. Anyway, that is the end of that. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me for so much of this ramble and rant. I liked being able to do this. I never thought I would do a live stream. I don't know if I'm going to keep this up or not. I just kind of liked having to be able to talk about this, but we will see. You don't understand my shit. I stand with both. And honestly, Charisma Carpenter said in her thing that she stands with Ray Fisher. So I stand with both of them. Okay. Everyone have a good day. I'm going to go drink coffee because that's what I do. And yeah, and maybe we'll do another one of these. We'll do like a Q&A sometime soon. Bye.